If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with your friends and family helps spread knowledge. And when we help others grow, we grow too. Thank you so much for listening. Let's dive into the podcast. The first public emergence, Catanya Saltzman's Letter and Community Awakening, 1992. One quiet morning in 1992, Catanya Saltzman sat down to write a letter that would change everything. She had been hearing something strange for months. A low, continuous sound that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The sound haunted her days and disturbed her sleep. It hummed like a distant engine, but no engine could be found. She checked her appliances, walked outside, asked her neighbors. Nothing. The mysterious noise followed her wherever she went in Taos, New Mexico. Desperate for answers, she decided to write to the local newspaper. Maybe someone else had heard it too. Maybe she wasn't going crazy after all. Her letter was simple but powerful. She described the low-frequency hum that plagued her daily life. She wrote about the sleepless nights and the constant worry that something was wrong with her hearing. Most importantly, she asked if anyone else in Taos experienced the same thing. The newspaper published her letter, and something remarkable happened. The phone lines lit up. Dozens of residents called in, each with the same story. They too heard the mysterious hum. People who had suffered in silence suddenly realized they were not alone. The mailman heard it. The school teacher heard it. The retired couple down the street heard it. All this time, they had kept their strange experience secret, afraid others would think them odd. The sound they described was always the same, low and persistent, like a truck idling in the distance. But when they went outside to investigate, the streets were empty. The hum seemed to come from the air itself. Local reporters sensed a bigger story brewing. They interviewed more residents and discovered something startling. Only some people could hear the mysterious sound. Others heard nothing at all, even when standing right next to someone who was clearly distressed by the noise. Word spread beyond Taos. Radio stations picked up the story. Newspapers across New Mexico began investigating. Scientists started asking questions. Government officials took notice. What had begun as one woman's desperate plea for answers became a phenomenon that would puzzle experts for decades. The Taos Hum, as it came to be known, had officially entered public consciousness. But the mystery was just beginning. The more people looked for answers, the stranger things became. The official investigation. Scientific teams search for answers. 1993. The phone calls kept coming. Every day brought new voices telling the same strange story. People in Taos could hear something that should not exist. The sound had no source. No machine made it. No animal created it. Yet there it was, humming in their ears, like a secret they could not share. By 1993, the mystery had grown too big to ignore. Local officials felt the pressure mounting. The media asked hard questions. Tourists wondered if Taos was safe to visit. Something had to be done. The call went out to the best minds in the region. Los Alamos National Laboratory answered first. These were the people who split atoms and built rockets. If anyone could find the source, they could. Phillips Air Force Laboratory joined next, bringing their knowledge of sound and radar. Sandia National Laboratories added their expertise. The University of New Mexico sent their brightest researchers. 4 teams, dozens of scientists, millions of dollars in equipment, all focused on one small town and its impossible sound. The investigation began like a military operation. Scientists spread across Taos with instruments that could hear a whisper from miles away. They carried machines that measured every vibration in the ground. Others tracked electromagnetic signals floating through the air. Nothing would escape their notice. For months, they listened. Microphones sat in bedrooms where people heard the hum strongest. Sensors lined the roads where trucks might create vibrations. Equipment monitored radio waves and electrical fields. The scientists tested everything they could imagine. but the machines stayed silent. Day after day, the instruments recorded nothing unusual. The ground showed normal vibrations. The air carried ordinary sounds. Radio waves followed their expected patterns. Meanwhile, people still heard the hum. They pointed to empty spaces and insisted something was there. Their ears detected what million-dollar machines could not find. The scientists grew frustrated. They had never failed so completely. Their methods had solved mysteries in laboratories around the world. Yet here in Taos, their best efforts found nothing. The final report landed like a stone in still water. After all the work and all the money, the conclusion was simple and troubling. The hum existed for those who heard it, but science could not prove it existed at all. The teams packed their equipment and left town. Behind them, the questions remained. How could so many people hear the same sound that did not exist? What force could create something so real, yet so invisible? The mystery had survived its greatest challenge. Science had tried its best and walked away defeated. The people and the phenomenon. Hearers, skeptics, and theories diverge. 1993 to present. When the machines found nothing, scientists turned their attention to the people themselves. Who were these hearers? What made them different from their silent neighbors? Dr. Sarah Martinez started mapping the hearers in 1994. She walked through Taos neighborhoods with a simple clipboard. House by house, she asked the same question. Can you hear it? The pattern that emerged was puzzling. Most hearers were over 50. They lived in quiet areas away from busy roads. Many had worked in noisy jobs for years. Some had perfect hearing. Others had lost some of it long ago. The sound affected them all the same way. Sarah discovered something strange. In one family of 4, only the grandmother heard it. Her son heard nothing. His wife heard nothing. Even their young daughter, with her sharp young ears, heard nothing at all. The grandmother would pace at night. She pressed her hands against her ears. She begged her family to listen harder. They tried, but the silence remained complete for them. Medical experts suggested tinnitus. This condition makes people hear ringing or buzzing sounds that are not really there. But tinnitus affects both ears. Many hearers described the hum coming from outside their heads. They could point toward it. Some doctors thought about electromagnetic sensitivity. Modern life surrounds us with invisible signals. Cell phone towers, power lines, radio waves. Perhaps certain people could somehow detect these frequencies. Teams tested this idea. They measured electromagnetic fields around Taos. They found the usual amounts. Nothing unusual. Nothing that matched the hum reports. Social scientists offered another explanation. When one person reports hearing something strange, others might listen harder. They might convince themselves they hear it too. The power of suggestion can be very strong, but this theory had problems. Many hearers discovered the sound before learning that others experienced it. They thought they were going crazy. They suffered alone for months before finding out about the wider phenomenon. Industrial causes seemed logical. Hidden machinery, secret military equipment, underground gas pipes vibrating in the desert wind. Investigators checked every possibility. They found normal equipment making normal sounds. Geological theories emerged. Perhaps the Earth itself was humming. Shifting rock, underground water, seismic activity too small to feel, but large enough to hear. The desert might be singing its own strange song. Then reports started coming from other places. Bristol, England, Auckland, New Zealand, Kokomo, Indiana. The hum had cousins around the world. Each location brought the same mystery. Some people heard it clearly. Others heard nothing. Science could not explain the difference. The phenomenon remained as mysterious as ever.